Coming to get you, Bobber.
I've got massive respect for the original Exorcist from 1973. I don't think I talk about the movie enough though. It's probably in my top 10 horror movies of all time, but it is a movie that I don't watch very often and I don't talk about enough because I'll give you a bit of a backstory. When I first watched The Exorcist, I was about 10 years old and I really didn't like it when I was a young kid. I thought, what was all that hype about? I watched it at the time where the movie was banned and nobody was allowed to see it. But I had a cousin who had a friend who had a cousin who had a friend who had a friend from the pub who had a cousin who had a copy of The Exorcist. So we got a hold of a copy of The Exorcist and I watched it and I was very disappointed at the time because I thought, what was all that fuss about? But when I watched it as a teenager, it frightened the life out of me. And then when I watched it as an adult, I appreciated the movie even more because obviously all the undertones that take place all the way throughout the movie. So yeah, it's an absolute masterpiece of a movie, and I can see why people are annoyed that somebody would want to either reboot it or remake it or whatever they want to do. People do get annoyed about things these days. That's why we have the internet, because everybody wants to be annoyed. Now, I don't remember back in the day because I wasn't born, but were people annoyed when they brought out The Exorcist 2 before they saw it, obviously? Were people annoyed when they'd done a third movie back in 1990? I don't think so. I can't remember anyway. One thing I do remember is when they brought out Dominion, or The Beginning, or either or, that came out in 2004/2005. That was a prequel to The Exorcist. As far as I remember, nobody got annoyed about doing a prequel to the 1973's Exorcist. In fact, people welcomed it as far as I can remember. The movie wasn't great. The two versions of the movie that we saw, it wasn't good at all, in fact. The closest that we ever got in movie terms to the original was Exorcist 3. That was a very atmospheric horror movie, very different to the 1973 movie, but very atmospheric. And then we had the TV series that lasted 2 years. Now, that was very underrated, that TV show. Again, it's something I haven't spoke about on the channel before, but the Exorcist TV show was fantastic. I think season 1 was great. We got a bit of a twist at the end when we find out that Gina Davis is in fact Reagan. So I thought that was great. And then season 2, I didn't think it was going to live up to what season 1 was, but it did. I think season 2 was excellent as well. Great cast. So then we hear that Blumhouse are going to be producing a series of Exorcist movies, around about 3 Exorcist movies. I did read online that it's costing them $400 million. Now, I don't know if that includes budget or if that includes the rights to get a hold of the Exorcist franchise. I have no idea, but $400 million is a big test for Blumhouse. Are they going to make that money back within the 3 movies that they're going to be making, or the at least 3 movies that they're going to be making? $400 million is a lot. You know, when you look back at the box office for the last few movies, apart from the first one, of course, the box office doesn't go well in their favour. So they're going to have to do something big. They're going to have to rejuvenate the Exorcist franchise, if you can call it a franchise. Now, David Blum, I was going to say David Gordon Green. Jason Blum did say that he's planning, or they're planning on doing, an Halloween 2018 style Exorcist movie with a trilogy in mind. He also didn't say, or didn't confirm that means that they're going to ignore 2 to whatever after that. It doesn't say they're going to ignore that, although they probably will ignore anything after the first Exorcist movie. But where are they going to go with this one? It's going to be set in modern day, as far as I'm aware. Linda Blair has already come out and said that she's not been asked to return. Nobody's said to her, can you come back as Reagan? So is Reagan going to be in this one? Are they going to recast Reagan? I don't think, if they bring Reagan back, I don't think they should recast her. I think it should still be Linda Blair. There are movies that come out for films years later, for example Tommy Doyle for Halloween Kills. It only makes sense to not bring back Brian Andrews because he's not an actor anymore. It only makes sense to recast and bring in Anthony Michael Hall. But when it comes to Linda Blair, although she doesn't really act anymore, I think she does more animal animal rights and looks after animals more. I think that's what she does. She does something amazing anyway outside of Hollywood these days, so I really commend Linda Blair for what she's done since she left Hollywood. But she is still a good actress, or she was the last time I saw her. She can do comedy roles, she can do a lot of different roles, and she is a horror icon as well, so it only makes sense to bring back Linda Blair. Linda Blair is what Jamie Lee Curtis is for the Halloween franchise, so if you're going to do an Exorcist movie or an Exorcist trilogy, you've got to bring back Linda Blair, surely. Like I said, I know I'm late to the party with this Exorcist news because the news came out over a week ago, but I wanted to take a few days to digest what I was reading, and I'm not loving the idea of an Exorcist trilogy coming out, but I wasn't loving the idea of a new Halloween trilogy coming out. Obviously I wanted Halloween movies, but I wasn't sure if I wanted them to go in the direction that they have went, and I was proven wrong because the direction that they went in was probably the best direction they could have went, and the same could be said for the Exorcist films. I don't know where I would take an Exorcist movie. Would I redo the original? Probably not. Would I do another prequel? It's already been done before. Would I do another sequel? That's already been done as well. What's trending right now? Reboots that take other entries in the franchise and remove them. That's quite a trend at the moment. I'm not saying it works all the time, but it could work for a movie like The Exorcist, because the only one true great movie in the Exorcist franchise is the first one. The third one was really good, but they don't have to remove the third one from the timeline. They could still have it included in as canon, but just come from The Exorcist 1 and move in a different direction. That's all they have to do. So yeah, if you ask me, here's your options. What one would you choose? I think I would probably choose the way that Halloween went and just reboot it from the first one onwards. What do you guys think of the Exorcist news? Again, I know I'm late to the party, but leave your comments down below anyway. Let me know what direction you would have put this franchise in. Would you have done a sequel, a remake, a prequel, a reboot, whatever you would call it? What would you do? Leave your comments down below. As always guys, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.